Hey, welcome back to Guided Reading with Miss Oliver. I am super excited to be here with you today and I can't wait to share today's lesson. Before we jump into our lesson today, we're going to take out a few things that we're going to need. The first thing we're going to need are the two worksheets that we're going to work with for this lesson. The first worksheet is titled Base Verbs. You should see some pictures at the top and some sentences at the bottom. The second worksheet is titled Using Verbs. You'll see some sentences with some boxes next to it at the top and a little area for you to draw a picture at the bottom. You're going to need a pencil to write with. We're going to need our book, We Learn to Swim. You should see some children swimming on the cover. And lastly, you want to make sure you're in a quiet and calm space so you can focus and grow your brains. If you need to pause the video right here to get your items together, please do so. If not, we can move on. So what are we going to do in this video? The first thing we're going to do is go over those 10 sight words that we're going to work with for the whole week. We're going to jump into our lesson on verbs. And then lastly, we're going to read our book, We Learn to Swim. Jumping into our sight word review. Repeating after Miss Oliver, the first one is swim, under, hill, room, name, rain, stay, place, new, paper. One more time from the top. Sleep, under, hill, room, name, rain, stay, place, new, and paper. Now I want you to pause the video right here to go through those 10 sight words on your own to see how many you can get. So pause. Bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How many did you get right? Awesome job. Remember, if you didn't get that many right, that's okay because we're going to work with these same 10 sight words throughout the week. So what you didn't get right today, I'm sure you'll get right tomorrow. So jumping into our lesson for today. In our last video last week, we talked about nouns. We learned that nouns are what? What are nouns? That's right. Nouns are a person, place, thing, or animal. Now we're going to talk about verbs. Verbs are action words. They describe what someone is doing. So if I say I jumped out of my chair, the verb in that sentence would be jumped because it's describing what I'm doing. If I say Miss Charles ran to the door, the verb in that sentence would be ran because it's describing what Miss Charles did. Let's look at a few more examples of verbs. Jump is a verb. I jumped out of my seat. It's describing what I did. Jump is a verb. Laugh is a verb. I laughed out loud. Ha ha ha. It's describing what I did. Clap is a verb. I clapped at the show. It's an action word that's describing what I did. Run is a verb. I run really fast. It's an action word that's describing what I'm doing. Read is a verb. I read all the time. It's describing what I'm doing. It's an action word. And walk is a verb. I walk super slow when I'm tired. Walk is an action verb that's describing what I'm doing. Eat is a verb. I eat all the candy. It's an action word that's describing what I'm doing. All of these words, jump, laugh, clap, run, read, walk, eat, they're all action words and they describe what someone is doing. So we learned that nouns are a person, place, thing, or animal. And we just learned that verbs are action words that describe what someone is doing. So lock that in. Lock it in. So let's see if we can find the verb in this sentence. Miss Oliver is going to read the sentence for us. Malachi painted his picture. Which word is a verb in that sentence? Malachi painted his picture. Think about it. Which word is the verb? That's right. The verb in the sentence is painted. Painted is the verb because it's describing what Malachi is doing. Awesome job. Thumb up for you. The next sentence, Eleanor brushed her hair. Which word is the verb in that sentence? Think, think, think. Right again, the verb in the sentence is brushed because it's describing what Eleanor is doing. She brushed her hair. You're good at this game. The next one, Amira read her book before bedtime. Which word is the verb in that sentence? That's right. The verb is read because it's describing what Amira is doing before bedtime. Next one, Maddox swam around the pool. Which word is the verb? Maddox swam around the pool. Awesome job. The verb is swam because it's describing what Maddox is doing. It's an action verb that describes what he is doing. Our last one, Miss Oliver rode her bike. Which word is the verb? Which word is the action word? Awesome job. Rode, because it's describing what I did. I rode my bike. Awesome job. I think you're ready for our independent practice worksheet time. So this is where you're going to take out those 2 worksheets and your pencil to write with. I'll give you 5 seconds to do so. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So after we put our first and last name at the top of our worksheet, we can get started. The first worksheet says base verbs at the top, the worksheet with the pictures. The directions are fill in the gaps using the right verb from the box. You're going to look at these words and you're going to read the sentences and think which word goes good in that sentence. Mrs. Oliver's going to do the first one. It says, we blank with our toys and games. I'm going to look at these words and I'm going to think which word would go good in that sentence. Which action word would go good in that sentence? We eat with our toys and games? No. We cry with our toys and games? No. We play with our toys and games? That one sounds right. We play with our toys and games. So I'm going to write that on the line, and then I'm going to cross this one off my list because I won't use that word again. So you're going to do the same thing for the rest of these words. Once you finish this worksheet, you'll go to the next one titled Using Verbs. You're going to read the sentence, and you're going to think which one of these 2 words would go good in that sentence. Miss Oliver is going to read the first one. The dog blanked the cat up a tree. The dog read the cat up a tree. That doesn't make sense. The dog chased the cat up the tree. That makes sense. So I'm going to write the word chased on the line and then I'm going to circle it. You're going to do this for all the other sentences. Then when you get to the bottom, you're going to write your own sentence using the verb run. So you can say, I run around the house. You can say, I run to the store. You can use any sentence. Just make sure you have the word run in it. So go ahead and pause your video right here so you can work on your worksheet. Bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Go ahead and push your worksheet to the side along with your pencil. And now we're going to take out our book, We Learn to Swim. While you're taking out your book, Mrs. Oliver is going to do the same thing. Let's do it in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So today we're going to be reading the book, We Learn to Swim. Excuse me. This book is written by Sarah Gassan, and the illustrator is Mary Yules. We know the author writes the words, and the illustrator draws the pictures. So before we read our book, we want to try to predict or guess what this story is going to be about by looking at the cover of the book and by reading the title. So let's take 15, 20 seconds to think what this story is going to be about. What do we think this story is going to be about by looking at the cover of the book and the title? Go ahead and pause your video right here so you can get some think time. Bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, since you had a chance to think about our question, what do you predict or what do you guess this story is going to be about by looking at the cover of the book and reading the title? Okay. So you said you think this story is going to be about some kids learning how to swim. That's an excellent guess. That's exactly what I think. I think this story is going to be about some kids learning how to swim. That's an excellent guess. 2 thumbs up. So before we read our book, we're going to go over some words to know before we read. Repeating after Miss Oliver, the first word is paddle, practice, swim, dunk, float, and learning. One more time from the top. Paddle, practice, swim, dunk, float, and learning. Those are words that are going to be in the story, so these are words to know before we read. So now, since we had a chance to predict or guess what the story was going to be about, we went over some words to know before reading. Now you're going to have a chance to read the book on your own. We're going to end our video here and you're going to read the book, We Learn to Swim. When we come together in our next video, we're going to read it together and then we're going to answer some questions at the end. So go ahead and take out your book, turn to page 1 and get started reading. I'll see you in the next video.